Right that mark. Good. We're gonna let all these people get around. Okay. So we know the order. Myra, Steve, Elise, and then.
Great.
Everybody knows that? Yes. Everybody good? You all here? Okay. You know, the sign out front says historic. Because moments ago, we watched a moment of history. Mayra Flores was officially sworn in. Mayra is the first Mexican-born Congresswoman in American history. I told her today on the floor as I held her Bible as she took that oath, how many young Latinas who immigrated to America just watched that you can achieve anything. America may not be perfect, but we strive to be a more perfect union. And nothing's greater than the American story. Nothing's greater than Mayra Flores' story. It's not just that she was born in Mexico. It's not just what she was able to achieve, but think about the seat in which she won. It is a seat that the Republican Party has not had in more than 100 years of the Rio Grande Valley. It is a seat that President Biden won by more than 13, and President Barack Obama won by more than 22. It wasn't in a general election, it was in a primary that even make it more difficult. And she wasn't following a Republican member. All the odds were against her. But it was only those who had not met her. Because there is no goal that she cannot achieve. As she came to America at age 6, her father taught her, you could do anything you strive and work hard to become. So she works hard on being a mother, being a wife of a Border Patrol agent, helping those or patients that have a hard time breathing, even at a time of a pandemic. You may just be learning of Mayra Flores today, but you'll be talking about her for years to come. Because she just made history, and it's only beginning to start. With that, I want to bring up the newest member. The reason why we have historic at the front of this podium, Mayra Flores.
Thank you so much. Today, I will give a voice to the voiceless. To say that the people who live and work in South Texas have had enough. We want to be heard, and we are tired of being taken for granted and treated like second-class citizens. I was born in Burgos, Tamaulipas, Mexico. Arriba Burgos, sí señor. Raised with strong values to always put God and family first. My father, Saul Flores, moved us to the United States because of the promise of America. He told me, in this country, if you work hard, you can accomplish anything. My story proves he is right. But right now, our people are struggling. They're taken for granted. That ends now. I am here. I have risen from working in the cotton fields to representing the community I love in the United States Congress. And I will give them the voice they need. I will use it to say, our lives are not a game. Our people deserve to have an opportunity, security, and freedom. I will work every day to give it to them. I am a proud Border Patrol wife and a mother fighting for a better future for our children. I want to inspire every child that today is working in the fields, strawberry, onions, cotton field, and you name it. I want you to know that you can become a congressman, a congresswoman, if you work hard. Thank you so much to my amazing family, of course to God, because this would not have happened without him and me living in prayer every single day. And to my amazing team, I truly do have the most hardworking, dedicated team. Thank you so much. God bless America.
Wow, only in America. We've heard that so many times. But right here with the Capitol Dome as our backdrop, the promise of the American dream is alive and well in Mayra Flores. Congratulations to our newest member of Congress. And what a story this is. As Mayra talked about giving voice to the voiceless, Mayra is also giving hope to millions of boys and girls who came to this great country seeking opportunity, seeking their piece of the American dream. She represents the American dream. We are so proud to welcome her as not only the first woman ever elected to Congress who was born in Mexico, but as the newest member of what's going to be a growing House Republican Conference. Congratulations, Mayra. You keep this Statue of Freedom and the eternal dream that is America alive and well. Hear, hear. Now I'll bring up our conference chair, Elise Stefanik.
From California to Texas to New York, Americans are uniting behind Republicans like our newest member of Congress, Mayra Flores, and Connie Conway, who was sworn in last week, because families know they cannot afford to live under Democrats' far-left, failed socialist rule. In less than 2 cycles, House Republicans went from only 13 Republican women to 35. And we are just getting started. This year, we have the most diverse Republican candidates running for Congress in history. The American people want and deserve a new direction. Democrats have created crisis after crisis, from inflation to the border to crime to the baby formula shortages. Over 70% of Americans think the country is going in the wrong direction, which is why they are voting for a new, better direction, supporting Mayra Flores. The momentum is on our side. Americans are united behind our House Republican agenda because we will continue to be laser focused on the issues that actually matter to the American people. We are just a short few months away and only 4 seats from firing lame duck Speaker Nancy Pelosi once and for all. And today, Congresswoman Mayra Flores brought us 1 step and 1 seat closer. And I am honored to yield to fellow Texan with Mayra, Tony Gonzalez.
I want to start by thanking the House Republican leadership, because you don't get here alone, and they believed in Mayra when no one else did, and it is a historic moment for all of us. Mayra, I want to welcome you to the 117th Congress. We have an incredible freshman class filled with talented folks throughout the country, and Mayra is only going to add to that. You know, the American dream is so powerful. The most powerful thing about the American dream is it doesn't always have to start in America. And Mayra is exactly that example that she has. I've got 6 children. I've got a 2-year-old daughter that is going to look up to Mayra and go, we live in the greatest country on earth where anything is possible. And back home in Texas, I'm excited to have a neighbor. I'm excited to have a partner to help identify the border crisis, the fuel the outrageous fuel costs, you know, the constant terror and threat that we see along the border is much different than what is happening in Washington, D.C. We're all so very excited for this historic day, and we're excited to have Mayra Flores as the 24th member of the Texas delegation. I'll turn it over to our leader, Kevin McCarthy.
What a historic day, and Mayra has her 2 daughters and her 2 sons out here, and her husband, John, who is a very proud Border Patrol agent, and we just think it's such a historic day. With that, let's open it up for questions. Yes, sir.
How do you respond to
Well, the one thing I will tell, just I talked to the president yesterday, he's very excited that Mayra just won a seat that the Democrats have held for more than 100 years. We've watched what Nancy Pelosi has done with this political committee. One thing I know is that since Nancy has appointed this political committee, gas has gone up $1.86. If you just watch an election that Republicans have not won in more than 100 years, in a seat that Biden won by 13, a seat that's 84% Hispanic, the second most Hispanic seat in the nation, the Democrats did the exact same thing with your question. They'd focused on an issue that the public is not focused on. The public is focused on, why is inflation so high? Why is the border insecure? Crime is rising. Everything is costing more. And that's exactly why Mayra ran, and that's exactly why she won. Yes, another good question.
Was Donald Trump right to pressure state officials and Mike Pence to pressure them to overturn the election results?
You know, the president always has a right to question an election, just as the Democrats question, just as Benny Thompson voted against the electorate vote, just as Raskin, who sits on this committee, said President Trump should be impeached before the president was even sworn in. So, look, I know you've got a lot of questions that hover directly to your viewers, but I think your viewers also care more about inflation. Why does it cost them more every single day? Why on the very first day that President Biden took office, why did he start raising the gas price then? Why did the Democrats in Congress question the refiners and the oil companies to make them pledge that they would produce less in the next year? And as the price goes up because supply is less and the other regulations on it, now they question it. Why do they continue to bring us more inflation? Why do they not make our streets safe? Why do they go after the police officers? Why, with Mayra's husband putting his life on the line every day to keep this country secure, why do they make his job harder? Why won't they let him do his job? I think there are still a lot of viewers that might want those answers to those questions too. I think your ratings might go up. Yes, sir. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Donald Trump famously said that Mexico is not sending their best. Would you agree with that statement?
That Mexico is not funding what?
Not sending their best. He said that Mexico is sending rapists and murderers.
The one thing I know that happens, just as Mayra, who's the very best, her father came here. Her father came here because he wanted a brighter future. She naturalized, become American citizen because she knew her life would be better. And she's standing before you right now as the first in the history of a country that's more than 230 years old, as the first woman born in Mexico ever elected to this body, where less than 12,000 people have ever had that honor. And that's the question you ask? I think you're wrong on that basis. Listen, yes, ma'am, go right ahead. I haven't seen the bill. Yes, sir. If the American public would trust us to be the majority, the very first thing we'd do is make America energy independent. So we'd lower your gasoline price so you won't pay more. We will secure the border so no longer will your children die from fentanyl, the #1 killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. We'll make sure your streets are safe again so you won't have these killings going off throughout. And you know what else we'll continue to do? We'll make sure America's stronger. We'll make sure parents have a Parents' Bill of Rights so they have a say in their kids' education. All the things that Mayra ran on and all the things that she will help us win the majority and govern in a place that the next century will be the American century. Thank you all very much for being here in this historic event.